Hello guys, alright, good. So here I will be going through these, I say 2012. This is a 2012 fast paper guys, non-listed, so I will just go through just a few topics here with you guys. Alright, welcome back. So welcome back everyone, this is CSEC now. Alright, so I'll be going through these 2020. So this is a 2012 paper guys, and I will just going through a few topics that you guys may wanted to see. Alright, Isaiah, what's up? Hello Raj, hello, welcome guys, welcome. Alright guys, make sure everyone do drop a like and subscribe if you haven't do so. Thank you. Alright, just a moment guys. Alright, let me see here, just read the comment section. Alright, so we have 15 person watching the stream. Welcome to everyone here. Guys, make sure everyone do drop a like on the stream and share it. Alright, I was just going through this integrated science. Hey Javi. Alright, so I will be going through this integrated science fast paper. This is a 2012, but I was just going through a few questions. Alright, just a moment. Alright guys, so these topics, I will just be elaborating on these topics. So here we are just mentioning about like oxygen, the effects of like rusting, or we're talking about oxygenation and so forth. So we're just gonna explain just a few key terms guys, so you guys could have a a better understanding. All right, hello Isaiah, welcome. All right, so here, first thing first guys, number one. So this is a 2012 paper, and paper 2, I'll be just going through a few questions. So number 1 says the Allens live in a house which overlooks the sea, right? So here it says suggest one method that can be used to protect the steel from rusting. All right, so here guys, we are talking about the rust. So therefore, if the Allen is living near, I would say, near to the sea, then therefore, what would happen here is we are seeing that the seawater, would be combining with the steel. So therefore, it will cause rusting. And to prevent rust, guys, one thing, well, not just one thing, but one of the best thing that we can do to prevent rusting is to do painting. All right, someone says, what is the ancient writing? I don't understand. Joining. All right, I will be explaining. So this means painting. All right, so we are talking about painting guys. All right, so that would be one of the method that we can use to protect the steel from rusting. All right, another question says we need to give reasons for the answers. All right, so why would I choose painting guys to prevent the steel from rusting? Because Allen is living, I would say, nearby the sea, which the seawater be overwashing on the steel. Then therefore, what the painting would do, it would provide a barrier, to prevent moisture. So we're talking about the water and oxygen from coming in contact with the steel. So what the paint will do, the paint will just act as, I would say, secondary source of protection for the steel, in the sense where we are talking about it will just prevent the steel from rusting, because it's well, as the oxygen would be combining with the water, that's where we have seen that I would call that the rust would start to occur. So therefore, what we would do is to do painting. All right, another question here says we need to name 2 factors which may affect the rate of rusting. All right, so first thing first, you can see that the oxygen, so the oxygen from the air guys and the moisture, or we can say either as water or the water vapor in the air. So we know that within the oxygen as well, combining with the moisture, that would cause the rust to be effective. Therefore, we are talking about the salt can accelerate the rusting. So we are talking about the salt. So it would be the salt in the salt water. So we are talking about the seawater, guys. The salt can, accelerate. So we are talking about, rushing as towards the rusting of the steel. So the salt would cause the steel to rust very quickly. All right, good. So we're just gonna move along to the other questions. Here it says, someone says, sir, when will you do POB? I will be doing, Jesse, welcome. I will be doing POB around, well, later. All right, I will be doing POB later, guys, because I have the paper one that I want to go through with you guys, but I'm not ready as yet. All right, since I've been seeing many comments about the integrated science, I'm trying my best to help you guys, just a few, so you guys could understand in case your exams that you would have in 2 days. All right, therefore, guys, we are seeing here that Mr. Hallin buys 2 common cleaners, and I need you guys to listen. All right, so Mr. Hallin buys, I would say, 2 common cleaners. So for the use of outdoor concrete floor, and we are talking about matric. So we're talking about the matric acid and lye. Therefore, the label would have revealed the acid that is which is hydrochloric. So when you're talking about hydrochloric acid, guys, hydrochloric acid is a form of acid which is, very, I would say, dangerous in a sense. It's not good, cause corrosions. All right, therefore we are seeing that the lye is, sodium hydroxide. All right, so the answer here, we are seeing that it would be corrosion that burns irritation, but let me just read the questions. So the questions here say we need to suggest 2 possible dangers to Mr. Allen when he uses these cleaners. So first and foremost, guys, when Mr. Allen buy the 2 common cleaner, the problem that Mr. Hallin would have, therefore, when he's using his cleaner, then therefore we'd see that it would cause corrosion. All right, so corrosion such as, like burns, irritation to the outside of the body. So we are talking about including the eyes and respiratory system if inhaled. So when Mr. Allen uses the, I would say, the common cleaner on the outdoor concrete floor, then therefore what it would do is to cause an irritation, outside of the body that would include it in his eyes or his respiratory system if he does, or he do inhaled these corrosions or burns that would cause irritations. All right, good. So another question here says that we need to go ahead and name 1 piece of safety equipment which Mr. Hallin should wear when using these cleaners. Guys, and I need you to understand what CXC normally asks for. The 2024 paper that you guys will be getting, it will be a similar paper to this paper, but this is how they're going to construct it. They may ask you a few stuff like about, I would say, the type of wires. So you guys will need to know what does the ground wire use for. So we have like the red wire, which is we have the earth wire, we have the blue one, we have the neutral wire, and all of those. So we just need to know, well, all of the types of wires, guys. All right, so you guys need to do a little research on that really fast before your exams. All right, and we need to know more, I would say more about like hydrochloric acid, all of those. We need to know about acid, base, all of those. Neutral, we know we have pH, we above I would say 7 or below 7, we know between neutral and acid. All right, good. So here the other question says we need to name 1 safety piece, I would say equipment, which Mr. Allen should wear when using a cleaner. So first thing first, guys, we know that when you're using a cleaner, for your safety, you'd have to use gloves. All right, goggles. Well, goggles would protect your, I would say, your eyes in a sense. All right, therefore we're talking about the respirators. So we're talking about protective gears that could also protect, for like example, clothes, wearing a protective clothes or boots, because we don't want any harm. So therefore, but we just need 1. So these was like around, let me see here, 3 and 2 are 5. So we are around, but they say you need to just choose 1. So the keyword here is 1 piece. All right, 1. All right, so it's very simple, and they may ask you guys which of the following, I would say, which of the two common cleaner is higher of pH. So this is what we are talking about, guys, pH. So we need to know the base level. So we need to know between base, acid, and neutral. All right. So here it says which of the two common cleaner has a higher pH. So here we know that in lye would have a higher pH than the acid. And the reason why, because remember guys, we are talking about hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid doesn't really have a much higher pH, because it would be a less, in the sense it would be falling in the range of an acid. Alright, but when you're talking about sodium hydroxide would be higher in pH levels due to its intensity levels. Alright, good. Alright, so the other question here, guys, it says the label for popular brand. So we're talking about the antacid indicates that I would say the active ingredients is calcium carbonate. Alright, and I think you guys heard about like carbonate acid before. Let me know in the comment section, has you guys ever heard about the carbonate acid? It's similar to what you're talking about, like for example, different type of like baking soda and all of those, but it's way different. Alright. Alright, so here it says we need to name the chemical process by which the base. So we need to name the chemical, I would say, chemical process by which the base calcium carbonate reacts with excessive stomach acid. So we are talking about the excess of stomach acid. We are talking about neutralization, and neutralization would be in a process in where Rod says nope. Well, you're new about that term. All right, you can research it. So they're talking about neutralization, guys. Neutralization will be in the I would say the excess of the stomach that which neutralize the body, in a sense that keep the acid intact. All right. So here, So here it says we need to write a simple word equation to express the chemical reaction in C high. So here we are talking about here. So we are talking about the neutralization. So we need to write a quick word equation. Alright, so therefore guys, you can see that hydrochloric acid plus calcium carbonate, align with calcium chloride plus water align with acid plus alkali. So you're talking about alkali, therefore we are combining alkali from alkali there to salt plus water. So that would be the equation of chemical reaction. So this is how the reaction would occurs in the chemical. So we have hydrochloric acid plus, then we have the calcium carbonate going over, transforming to, in a sense, we are having calcium chloride plus water, then we have acid plus alkali combining over to salt plus water. So that would be a 1 mark, but you guys are supposed to simply know the word equation. Alright, so here it says we need how is calcium obtained from anthracite acid used by the body. Right? So here for healthy growth, we are know that we are talking about how the calcium is being obtained. So how is the calcium, I would say, obtained? So if you need to obtain something, guys, what we are talking about is get. So how is calcium being, I would say, how did they get from the anti-acid, all right, being used by the body? So therefore we'd have known that it's for healthy growth and bones and teeth. So this is how the calcium being obtained, for healthy growth and of bones and teeth. All right, good. Alright guys, we have 20 persons watching the stream, guys. Make sure everyone do share the stream and like, please and thank you. I really appreciate it. Alright, good. Alright, good. Let me see here. Alright, moving forward. Sorry. Alright, let me see what's going. Alright, just a moment. So here you can see that we have the, just a moment, let me see. Let's scroll back. Alright, so we have a laboratory diagram here showing that Myra produced very hard water in a laboratory by making concentrate solution of magnesium sulfate. Right? She placed 5 centimeter just some cube. Yes, so she placed 5 centimeter cube of solution in a test tube A using distilled water and concentrate solution. She make 20%, 40%, 60 and 80 strength. She placed 5 centimeter cube of these solution in tube B, C, D and E respectively. She adds 5 centimeter cube test tube 10 times. Sorry. So we have seen that she will have added 5 centimeters cube distilled to distilled water to tube F. Therefore, we are seeing that she would add 4 drops of liquid soap to each tubes and shake each tubes 10 times. So what she do here, she would have normally added like about 5 centimeters, I would say, into the distilled water of if tube F. So here we'd have seen that tube F would have more water instead, due that she had more. But here that she added 4 drops of liquid soap to each tubes about 10 times. So these results are presented. So as you guys could see, let's just go ahead and see what's going on here. So we've seen that test tube A would most likely to have here, we are talking about latter. So we're talking about latter is about the sod, I would say soap that she would have added here. So they start talking about the latter produced by samples. Alright, so far let me just see what's the question asking, guys, so we could go again and just predict what's going on. So when he says we need to read the height of each ladder columns from figure 1, record in its appropriate section of table 1. So that would be 3 marks. So far it says on the grid provided, page 5, plot the data from the table complete in I would say I1 above. So we are talking about the first diagram here. So guys, so for first we are seeing that 100%. Does that mean just go ahead and show you on the diagram here? Alright, so for 100% here, this one would be test tube A. Alright, so here we can just go ahead and look on it. So for 100% here, so it's be 0. So 0 point, we are looking at these points for apps. So it should be 7, 8, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's been half of 5, so therefore 0 point. It's not 0 0.1 because we're not moving up. We're moving below these inches, so therefore we're seeing that 0 point. This would be 0 0.5. 0 0.5 between. Alright. So we're going to 0 0.5. And for 80 now, we are talking about here. Let me just check here. Let me see what's going on here. This is 2.0. So it's 2 centimeter. 2. Yes, so it would be 2. See, 2. And let me see this one. This one will be 3. Yes, 3. So that one would be 3, guys. See, as you can see, 60 would be 3. And 40 here would be 5. So just looking at these points, guys, look at these points. So here in between here, we are going to count by points. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half of 5, which should be 10. We are talking about 10. So half of 10, guys, would be 5. So therefore, it would be 0 0.5. But we are counting up in places. So this would be 5. This would be 6. And this would be 7. So this is also point 0 0.5, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Alright. So this is how we indict in regards to the table here. This is how they'll add on the grid. So we'd have received around like 3 marks here so far. So this is a percentage of how we go ahead and gather the data. Alright. Good. So what they need to do here is to label the axis on the grid. So when you label the axis, guys, it's very easy. So we can just simply say that the graph of the height of ladder centimeter versus the sample strength. Because remember, they were testing the height versus the sample strength here. So this is the key word, guys, you need to look for. If they were supposed to give you a diagram today, guys, on the paper 2024 paper 2 integrated science, and they, for example, they give you like a diagram similar to this, and they said you need to give it I would say go ahead and give the diagram a quick I would say appropriate title, then therefore we could just see, once we read the information above, we can know. So we know about the strength. So this would be the strength, and they are talking about its height. Because if we are seeing here, they are talking about, you know, drops, all of these drops liquid sulfate, we are talking about the soaps that they shake 10 times, and therefore these are the results. So we can see this is the height. So this is another key term. So you can see the height versus strength, because they didn't give any other key. If you look at here, they didn't give any other key. So first you can see that they're mentioning about the height. We just test the height, 0.5, 2, 3, and 5, and 6, and whatever, 7. Alright, so you can say the graph would be showing, you know, the height of a ladder centimeter versus, I would say, sample strength percentage. Simple one mark. Alright, and if here it says we need to write a statement about the relationship between the height ladder obtained and the hardness of the water. So first we can see that the hard as the water sample strength, guys, would be the percentage that increases the height centimeter of the ladder decreases. So what we are talking about here, we are talking about the height of the ladder and the hardness of the water. So therefore we are talking has hard water sample strength. So we are talking about the hard water sample strength. So as the strength of the sample water would have increased, then the height of the ladder would decrease. Alright, and it's simple. Simple, very simple, guys. It's not hard. Alright. Alright, so here we have another graph. It's showing that the graph of our ladder centimeter versus sample strength percent. Alright, so herefore we can see this would be the sample of the strength. Alright, so here we're just gonna plot the graph. So here, let me see. We're seeing that the clay, so we are talking about the space between them are larger, and therefore the sand is more, I would say, porous. Alright. So here we're just gonna plot the graph here, guys. Let me show you what's going on. So this would be a simple sample of the graphs. So all we have to do here is just plot the graph and show the sample strength. Alright. See? Simple diagram. The graph of the height ladder versus the sample strength. Alright, that's simple. Alright, so it says he says Mr. Singh is farming on very, I would say, you know, sandy soil in the Caribbean. Alright, good. So it says, why does water in puddles quickly disappear into the ground on the farm after shower of rain? Alright, so let me explain to you what's going on here, guys. So we are talking about when rain falls, right? We have seen that the water, you know, would normally disappear into the ground. Yes. So we'd have seen that the water would have normally disappeared in the ground, right? And after the water have been disappeared in the ground, then therefore what would happen? We'd have seen that the sand would be, you know, less tightening and packed than clay. Because remember, we know that sand would be more thinner than clay, therefore in a structure form, right? And as we can see that the particles in the sand are larger than the particles in, we can say, the clay. So there would be spaces between them that is larger, but therefore the sand is more porous. Alright, so we're talking about, we have seen that the sand would be more thinner than the clay in sense, and the structures are way different. So that is the whole reason why here we have seen that the sand is less, you know, packed than in the particles than, and even though the sand would be larger in particles than the clay in sense, but there's difference between sand and clay. Alright, good. Could you please specify what topics will be on integrated science paper 2, what topics may be on the exams? Alright, I will do. Alright, just a moment, guys. Just give me 1 minute, just a moment. Alright, please, just one minute, just a moment. All right, guys, welcome back. All right, sorry about that. All right, so here, where were I? All right, so I was at here. All right, yes. So we are seeing that Mr. Singh has a pond, right? So, guys, I need you guys to pay attention because remember, most of these questions, let me just explain to you. Most of these questions will be structured on your paper too today, but it will be in a different form. So they may ask you about all of these things. So it's the same pattern, but in different structure. All right. So for example, they may ask you about sun. All right, the different type. They may ask about even soil erosions, guys. So you need to know about these stuff. You need to know about the electricity. I would say differences. We need to know about the the environment in the sense how can water be, because guys they may ask you these stuff, list like three method of sorry, of water conversion, sorry, water conservation. All right, so they may ask you to list like three method of water conservation. All right, so we know, like for example, to conserve water, we know that we can use like different types of instead of using a much amount of water, guys, in our washing, we can use water in a different sense. They may ask you how to preserve water. They may ask you all of these stuff today, guys, because remember, integrated science is I would say a large topic in the sense. They may choose random questions, but it's just for you guys to understand. All right, so we're just gonna move along real fast because I have like two more papers that I want to really go across before. All right, so here we are seeing that Mr. Singh has a pond which he lines with clay, so it can retain water in a dry season. All right, so we need to explain how the clay reduces the amount of water that steps into the soil in the dry season. So therefore here we can see that clay has a small particles, right? But therefore small here space, and therefore it's not easily drained. So what we can see here, guys, you can see that clay would have a small particle, all right, and a small air space. So for a small air space, water is not easily passed through, or that would normally drain. So that is the whole reason why Mr. Singh here, he could the clay that could be retain the water in the dry season, because clay water is not easy passed through clay. It's easier to pass through sands than clay. All right, good. So here we are seeing that we need to describe two methods that Mr. Singh may use to preserve the fertility of the soil on his farm. They may ask you this question as well. It's simple, simple. All right, not much in a sense. All right, so there's a difference between these, we can say. All right, so it's not a sense that you guys need to worry about integrated science, because these topics are large in volumes, therefore they can choose any between these. So here first, guys, we can see that we can add manure. So when you're adding manure, we are talking about compost, organic fertilizer, crops rotation, planting trees, additional of lime. Therefore we're talking about like limestone tillage. All right, so we can use tillage also on the soil on his farm. So we're talking about tillage and mulching. So all of these methods can be used to preserve the fertility. So we can say mulching, plowing, or even add manure, organic fertilizer. All of these stuff can use. All right, so you just need to describe two methods. All right, simple. All right, moving forward, guys. Here, this is a diagram of the human digestive system, right? So here we need to label. They may ask you to label a few diagram, and I think I should show a few so you guys could see. This is the human digestive system. It's pretty easy. We know that this is the stomach, right, which we had the acid. All right, so we are talking about the pancreas. So the pancreas is here, and then we have the small intestine. So this one is a very easy one. I think everyone should know this. We have the stomach, we have the pancreas, we have the small intestine. All right, good. So here we are seeing that the diagram of the human digestive system, right? So we need to, it says, identify the structure. We already do that already, right? So it says on the diagram, draw a line to label C. We already do that. C was what? Small intestine. So we already label C already. Alright, so it says complete the dental. Yes, guys, they may ask you these today about the teeth. Alright, so you guys need to know about teeth. Between the canine, incisor, premolar, and all of those incisors. So we need to complete the dental formula between, I would say, or below, to present the number of teeth in an adult man who has all of his teeth placed. So for incisor, we know that they have 2 incisor, right? For canine, you know here 1 and 1 top, 1 below. Premolar, same, 2 top, 2 below. Molar, 3 top, 3 below. So this is the format of the mouth. So for example, let me just draw this line to show you what's going on here. For example, guys, we're talking about the mouth. All right, so these are the top line of your mouth. So these would be your tooth. Let me just show you what's going on here. For example, so we know that here they'd have 2 incisor on top. Here 1 incisor on top, 2 premolar on top, 3 molar on top, same below. So this would be top and this would be below. Alright, so this is how we need to format or formula between the tooth structure. Alright, good. I hope you guys should see these a little different. Alright, so it says in science laboratory, right? Josh and Sue carried out experiments to measure the, I talked about the composition of 10 grams of samples of food X and Y. Table 2 shows the composition and the energy, values each samples of food. Therefore, table 2, energy value of food. So we are seeing that the value here of food showing. So we have nutrients, in 10 gram of food sample G, whatever. All right. So let me see what they are asking here. All right. So it says using the format in table 2 determine which food provides, I would say, provides more energy. So let's look at we choose sample X, but let me see what was the reason being. All right. So let's go here. So as you guys could see here, if we were supposed to calculate all of these, we see that sample X here has 3 in fats, 39 in nutrients, 117 in total. So we are talking about the energy in food in kg. All right, so this is protein, that. So we are just calculating all of these. All right, so therefore we can see, if we were supposed to go ahead and do some calculation, guys, we could normally see that this table here in all of these section here would write for table X. All right, because if we were supposed to say 3 times 39, guys, 3 nines, that's 71, so that would be 117, right? And 217 here would normally say is it's 34, right? And 517 here is 85. So you're times it by. So therefore, if we were supposed to get a calculation in food X, we'd have 236. If we were supposed to say 1 times 39, 39, and 4, sorry, why this? So, alright, so if you're supposed to say 4 times 17, we have 68. 5 times 17, 85. Total, I will say 3, not 9, 6, 7, 9. That would be 192. So in total, we can see that food energy in X would be greater than Y. So it says food sample would best suit this food values in total. Alright, good. So here it says which food sample Y and X would be suitable for athletes, alright, and a growing children or a person with gallbladder removed. So we need to give one reason for each answer, and the reason why we choose athletic so when you're talking about athlete, guys, you're talking about person who do tracks and field and all of those stuff. Therefore, we've seen that food, I would talk about the food sample X would be best. And the reason why, because athlete is very active and they need food that provide a lot of energy. And so far we can see that food sample X would provide a lot of energy. Alright, I will be right back, sir. Alright, no problem, Raj. Good. And for a growing child, we choose Y. And the reason why we choose food sample Y is because food sample Y has a high protein in diet and is needed for growth. And we all know that for children to grow, they need, protein and all of those. Alright. Good, moving along. It says a person with gallbladder removed. So listen, this is what happened. So we choose food Y, and the reason why we choose food Y is because there would be an abscess of bile. And we are talking about bile. We are talking about the emulsification of fats. So a low fat diet would be, was needed. Someone says, bro, I was looking for this live all night, man. No problem. So is that Shinara? Yeah. All right, no problem, guys. If you're new, guys, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, alright? And turn on the post notification and share the stream and like the video. Thank you. Alright, guys, so we're gonna move forward here. So because we don't really had much time here, so we're just gonna go along and move forward, guys. So I really need everyone to pay attention, please and thank you. Alright, good. Alright, so far here, we can see that there would be an abscess bile for emulsification. Not emulsification, yes, and fats of diet was needed. Alright, so the best one would be for the person that removed the gallbladder would be Y. Alright, we're moving forward. Alright, so D, it says children want to swim immediately, right? So children want to swim immediately. I would say, after having lunch, but their mother insists that they, wait for at least 2 hours to allow for their food to digest. All right, so in the Caribbean here, guys, right? We know that a lot of persons when they eat their dinner, therefore what they normally would like to do is just to go along and play. Especially kids, they love to go ahead and play, but this is not good for them at the sense, guys. Remember, your food need to digest. All right, so therefore we'd have seen that for them to go ahead, all right, but we're actually seeing that it would be best for them to have their food digest, and the reason being because they would have problems in further on. All right, so we need to give a reason why they should not swim after eating, perhaps. So the reason here would have seen the reason why they should not go ahead and swim as they eat is because cramps. So we're talking about cramps. So cramps could cause from low blood flow. So when the blood is diverted to the digestive system, then therefore they would have nausea. We are talking about like dizziness may also occur. So this is not very good because cramps would from I would say low blood flow when the blood is being diverted to the digestive system. So that would be the reason. All right, good. All right, guys, so here just gonna move along to the other slide here. All right, so first, guys, as we can look at this diagram, I need everyone to know this. All right, because remember, guys, this diagram here will be also on your exams, because remember we're talking about the heart, guys. Once we see this, we can know about the heart. All right, so first thing first, as we see the heart, guys, we need to know how to label the heart. So if you wanted to go ahead and pass integrated science paper 2, you guys need to know how to label the heart per cyst. All right, so therefore first thing first, you can see here the structure. We're talking about the aorta. All right, so we need to know about, they may, all right, and I even might say you guys need to know the function as well, because the reason why I say so, normally they may thrown out like any broad questions, so we need to know the function of the aorta. but nonetheless said so. Ashanti, hello, welcome. All right. So here, what we're gonna do here, guys, is just to go ahead and label the heart first. Then I see my best if I could just go ahead and explain the function. All right. All right. So first thing first, guys, we see that here would be the artery. So this is the heart. So this would be the artery right in here. All right. The Q right here. Now we are talking about the, I would say, the pulmonary vein. So the pulmonary vein, guys, we are talking about the vein of the heart. All right. Therefore, we are talking about the left. So we know we have the left ventricle. So one is the left ventricle, then we have the right ventricle. Sorry. So this is the ventricle, and then we have the cardiac muscle. So we need to know about these stuff. All right. So first thing first, guys, about the function of the aorta now. All right. So we have seen that the aorta now would carry. Let me just see if I could write it here, even though I cannot. All right. Let me see if I could write it here. So we know that the aorta, it carry bloods. It carry blood from. Sorry. Well, my keyboard is not working so good. So sorry. Carry blood from the, all right, so it's carry blood from the heart to circulatory system. All right. There. Oh, never mind. I can't write. Let me just write this, because I think you guys should know what I'm talking about, because my keyboard is not working good. So what the aorta would do, guys, it carry blood, it carry bloods from the heart to the circulatory system. Alright? So when you're talking about the aorta, guys, you need to know the function of the aorta. So it would carry blood from the heart to the circulatory system. Alright, therefore we're gonna talk about the pulmonary vein. So the pulmonary vein now, what it do, it would normally collects. So here we guys could see right here, the pulmonary vein, it collects oxygen. But we are talking about oxygen, we are talking about rich blood. So therefore, guys, I want you guys to understand this. When we are talking about rich blood, we are talking about blood which is full of oxygen. When your blood is not full of oxygen, then therefore we will talk about venous blood. When you're talking about venous blood, we are talking about blood that which have deoxygenated oxygen. So deoxygenated oxygen is oxygen that leave in your body. All right. So those blood, guys, would be blood that person has. We could have like anemic persons who are being anemic. Therefore, and these bloods can lead to I would say further complication. It's not good, because we need oxygen within our body for our blood to be rich in oxygen. Then therefore what the pulmonary vein do is to carry collects oxygen rich blood from your lungs and carry it to the heart. So this function is a very good one, the pulmonary vein. All right, I hope everyone understands what's going on. So when you're talking about the left ventricle now, all right, so the left ventricle, what the left ventricle do, guys, it's like I would say a source that it provides sufficient cardiac output to maintain blood flow to other organs system. So therefore we are talking about, like, when you're talking about cardiac output, you may asking yourself what I mean by cardiac output. So cardiac output, guys, would be the result from where we are talking about like constant I would say contraction of the left ventricle. Then therefore we are talking about like preload, afterload, and contract. All right, so we are talking about the blood. So therefore we are seeing that the blood would be loading, like flowing through your body. Therefore what the cardiac output would do is to ensure that the blood is being maintained, the flow to other organs in your body. So this is what the left ventricle do. The left ventricle normally provide the sufficient cardiac output to maintain the blood flow to other organs. Does everyone understand? All right. So it's very simple, and it's not something that you guys should go ahead and be panic about. Guys, just try your best in your exams. All right, reason the questions and you guys should be good. All right, so the cardiac muscle now, what the cardiac muscle do, the cardiac muscle normally function, it's responsible for the contract. So we're talking about the contractility of the heart. We are talking about like the pumping. So we're talking about the contractility of the heart. We're talking about how the heart would pump the blood. So therefore we are seeing that the heart would pump the blood, so the cardiac muscle must contract with enough force. And when the cardiac muscle would contract with enough force, then therefore would have enough blood supply to the metabolic I would say demand of your entire body. So it would maintain your body in a sense that it would cost enough force for enough blood to supply through your entire body. So this is what the cardiac muscle do. The cardiac muscle is very good because it contracts, enough force for the blood to supply throughout your whole body. All right, so this is the function of these terms. All right, good. And I hope everyone is getting what I'm saying, because I just want to make sure you guys have a clear understand what's going on. All right, good. So we just move forward a little bit. So here we are seeing that all right, so you see guys, this is the same thing that I was saying just now. They just ask you that you need to state the major function of the heart. See, that's what I say guys. Each diagram they give, they may ask you something about it. You need to explain some functions. So about the human, I would say the respiratory system, you guys need to know about the functions, right? About the, like for example, the kidney, all of those, and you guys need to know. All right, so here it says need to state the main major function of the heart. So we know that the heart pumps, I would say, bloods around the body, and that's one simple question they ask, and it's very easy. So here we can see a graph that Sammy and James rested for a while, then started running back and forth. So it's across a plain field. The graph in figure 4, shows that the heart rate, number of heartbeats per minute. So we are talking about, like for example, we're seeing that the heart rate, the diagram here would showing the heart rate between Sammy and James, and it shows the number of heart rate per minute. All right, so this would be the diagram that would collect data about the boys when they start running. So we are just calculating the heartbeat between the time activities that they are running between these two persons. All right, so between Sammy and James. So let's see what's the question asking, guys. It says you need to use in the graph in figure 4 describe the general trend. So we're talking about trend in the heart rate of the boys with time. So we're talking about time. So guys, when you're mentioned with time, we are talking about the number of heartbeat per rate. So we're talking about BPM. I think you guys heard that term before. Beat, it's BPM. And we're talking about BPM, we are talking about beat per rate. Alright, so we are talking about with time, so we have the heartbeat per minute that increases. Alright, so the answer here would be, it's finished. It's very simple. 1 mark would have received for that answer. So here we need to determine Sammy heart rate at 150 seconds. So here, if Sammy heart rate was to beat 150 seconds, then therefore, remember we are talking about per minute. So 150 seconds times it per minute would have 160 beats per minute. Alright, so we are talking about the seconds per minute, because remember the heart beats, BPM, beats per minute, so therefore we're talking about 150 seconds. So if he was supposed to run 150 seconds, then therefore the heart would beat 160, I would say, times per beat per minute. Alright, good. So here me ask say what is the maximum heart rate experienced by James. So therefore we are seeing that James would have, heart would have been 180 per minute. So we're talking about the maximum. Alright, so we are talking about, this would be the minimum therefore for Sammy's, but for the maximum for James would be 180. Alright, good. So it says here we need to suggest 2 reasons for the exchange in heart rate of the boys between 0 and 30 seconds. So this is what happened here. So when running, we'd have seen that the heart rate would have been increased. Alright, so we have seen that they would increase in blood carrying the oxygen and nutrients from the respiration in the muscle. So this is the reason for the change in the heart rate. So once between the boys start running from 0 to 30 seconds, then therefore we'd have seen that the heart rate would have been increased, and as the heart rate increased, then we would have more blood increasing, I would say increasing, carrying the oxygen and nutrients for the respiration in the muscle. All right, good. So here, sorry guys, I'm going to scroll up back a little because we are nowhere, to be honest. Time is going. All right, so here it says the rate of breathing may also investigated, I say, while the heart rate is being monitored. So therefore we can see that here they're asking how would Sammy's rib cage move as he runs back and forth. So this is the movements, guys. So we'd have seen that the movements of the rib cage would be vigorous. So vigorous you're talking about is rib cage moving in and out each times, in a sense like I would say opposite motion. All right, because his heart is beating fast, therefore, but we are talking about his breathing, his motion. All right, so therefore we are seeing that the rib cage would be vigorous. All right, good. One mark for that question. Pretty simple. It says how Sammy body benefits from movement described in CI. So we are talking about CI. We are talking about here. So let me scroll up, show you guys what we're talking about here. So we're talking about the vigorous. All right, so therefore we would have seen that the muscle would receive, you know, an increase of blood flow. Therefore, from bringing the oxygen and nutrients. So while the muscle would have received the increase of blood flow, bringing oxygen and nutrients. So that would be the answer. That would be the benefit. The benefit would be when we are receiving. So we are seeing that Sammy would receive the increase of blood flow, and from the blood flow, it's bringing oxygen and nutrients. All right, good. All right, moving forward. So here we are seeing that a gardener lights a heap of grass clipping. So it says which started to produce smoke. So we are seeing that the next playing field where James and Samuel are running. So we need to describe two possible side effects that the smoke may have on the respiratory system. So therefore we are talking about smoke. We know that smoke, guys, is not good. Right, we always feel like we are going to suffocate if you're in a lot of smoke. All right, so first thing first, you would start to cough. That would be one of the possible effect that the smoke may have on your respiratory system. So you have started to cough, and therefore you feel like you can't breathe. So you're talking about difficulty breathing. So these are real simple, answers. Right, good. So we need to state one negative effect on the gardener actions and physical environment. So therefore we are talking about negative. So the negative effect on the gardener action will be air pollution. All right, so we are also talking about global warming. So we are talking about the increase of global warming will be from the increase of CO2 level. We're talking about carbon dioxide. All right. Okay, good. So we're talking about the gardener, guys. So it says, what is the function of a simple machine? They may ask you these questions, guys, so please pay attention. All right, so simple machine would be a device that makes doing work easier. All right, so it makes works easier for us. All right, that's what it means, simple machine. All right, good. All right, let's go. So it says we need to name one simple machine after the lever and pulley. All right, so here we've seen that the inclined plane. So guys, they may ask you this question today, and trust me, I think this question is a possible one. So they may give you a diagram of we'd say a forceps, right? A forceps, guys. So therefore the forceps would be of your forearm. So therefore the whole action, they may ask you about the action of a forearm. So I would like to show you the diagram what I'm talking about. They may show on paper too today. So if you were supposed to look at your arm, guys, like you're doing an arm wrestling and you were trying to muscle, they're gonna give a picture like that of your muscle. So therefore what they would say, they would try to talk about the inclined plane. We're talking about the screw, gears, and wheel and axle. So we're talking about your arm. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, good. So moving forward, guys, so we say you need to one simple machine. So we know that for example, guys, I need you guys to know this. So your forearm it's like a simple machine. So we are talking about like inclined plane. All right, good. Moving along, so we need to state the formula for mechanical and advantage of a simple machine. So we know that mechanical advantage would be load over effort. All right. All right, good guys. So as you guys could see, we need to know this: load over effort or effort over load. They may ask you these questions today, and this one is possible. All right, good. All right. So moving forward now, guys, we are talking about the mechanic uses a pulley to apply an effort of 100. All right, now to lift a car engine of weight, this is 100, and calculate mechanical advantages therefore of the pulley. So what you're gonna just calculate here, guys, you're talking about the mechanical load. All right, so let's see what's going on here. So we see that the mechanical advantages would be load over effort. So therefore, what you're gonna do, we're gonna divide. So we're gonna cancel all of these. So we see this cancel. So we're just dividing, guys. So in a sense, all right. So this cancel this on into that. So the answer would be 10n. All right. So we just need, this is very simple, guys. Trust me, I just really want to go through this paper real fast because we don't have much time. So we're talking about the pulley made a squeaking sound when it was being used. So the mechanic lubricated the pulley. So we need to explain why is now use less effort to lift the load. So what we are talking about, we are seeing that the friction is being reduced by the lubrication, so less energy is being used, or I would say lost. Therefore, the lubrication now, what it would do is to cause the free movements in the pulley. All right, so instead of using I would say is motion of using more, I would say would have using more effort over load. Then therefore what will happen here would be the opposite. So instead of using more effort over load, you will have more load over effort. So he would have not using his effort, there would be more load, but therefore the lubrication will cause free movement in the pulley. All right, good. So moving along, guys. Yes, this is what I were talking about, guys, this diagram here. All right, so I need everyone to pay attention, guys. You may see this, it's a must. Trust me, you may see this diagram today on the paper too. All right, so you guys need to know this. So they may ask you to label this. This is the, of a forearm, I would say, an arm lifting a object. So you're talking about the bicep, we're talking about the elbow, we're talking about the forearm, all of these. So this would simple, explain as a inclined plane, as I mentioned, a simple. All right, so therefore it says you need to explain the action of the bicep, elbow joint, and forearm during the lifting of the objects can be referred as a distance multiplier. So we are seeing that the ratio of the distance would be moved by load to effort, right? And we are seeing that effort would be greater than 1, or the load to effort ratio has been less than 1. So we are talking about the effort between the you're talking about effort between the ratio. So therefore we are seeing that the bicep now, we're talking about the bicep. So as we can see that the elbow joint will be in a less pressure, as the forearm moving, the bicep would contract here. So the forearm moving, the bicep would contract. So therefore we'd have seen that therefore would have less, one would have 1 pressure greater, effort greater than 1, as the load effort would be less than 1. So there's a difference between. All right, so on the other side of your arm would have less pressure, on the other side of your arm would have more pressure. All right, so we have 30 persons watching the stream, guys. Welcome. Make sure everyone do drop a like and subscribe if you haven't do so. Please like the video and share. Thank you so much. Moving forward. All right, so here it says we need to name the lever present in figure 5. So this one would be a third clan lever. All right, third clan lever. All right, good, guys. So you may see a diagram like this today on your 2024 exams. So as I mentioned, you may see, it's not guaranteed 100%, but you may see this, because what CXC like to do, they like to put these diagrams to show the difference effort between loads and fulcrum. All right, so here guys, you can see this boy and this girl on a simple, I would say, a lever, and we are seeing that, you know, one on the other hand we had more load, and here we have less load. So as you guys could see what's going on here between these points. So let's see what's the question asks between it's Racaldo and Tracy. All right, so let's see what's going on here. There says in figure for that load, so we need to label. So here we need to label. So we are talking about here we would have the fulcrum. So here guys, between this point here would be the fulcrum, right? All right, and here would be we're talking about the load, and here we are talking about the effort. All right, so that's all we need to do to get the mark. All right, that's all you need to do to get the mark. Simple. And it's very simple, guys. It's not, to be honest, it's not a big deal. There's simple to label. We know that this is a load. We're talking about the fulcrum, and we are talking about the effort. All right, moving forward because we don't have enough time. So section B here, we are seeing that we need to answer both questions, right? So we're talking about safety is very important, and we all know that. In science laboratory, guys, safety is your first priority, all right? So here we need to, you know, go ahead and probably, you know, identify the 3 hazards, and suggest one practice of each hazard identify. And let me say something to you guys. This one is a major question, because you may CXC may throw this. They may throw a pick similar like this between the hazard that you guys need to choose. All right, so first thing first, here we can see this is not good. So we have a phone here, this girl using the phone. We have a cursed nail. We can say this is flammable. All right, therefore we are seeing a candle here. Therefore we're seeing water spill here. Therefore what we are seeing is the beaker here, as we guys can see, which is the measuring jar or whatever. This is not good. Therefore what we are seeing, we have corrosus. This liquid here is corrosus, same as we had here. So here we are seeing this is very dangerous because we have the corrosus and it's near to his skin. So these are corrosus liquid. It's not good. And water here. So this girl could, you know, fall on the ground, while seems as this would be flammable, to be honest. As I can see, it seems as this would be a flammable. So if this was supposed to hit this girl here and her hair catch on fire, therefore what would happen? The whole place would be on flames. So let's see what's going on here. So he said we need to state one method that can be used to extinguish each of the following. Alright. So first thing first, guys, we're just gonna go ahead. Alright, so here we are talking about bushfire, we are talking about electrical fire. So first thing first, we can say this, let me just go down back to here. So first thing first, guys, we're going to write our answer here since we don't have enough space. So we're talking about the flammable now. We are seeing that the flammable liquid would be dangerous because it's close to the naked flame, right? While it's close to the naked flame, it can be leaded to an explosive fire. Therefore, store the flammable liquid in a cool, ventilated, secured location to extinguish all unattentive flames in labs. So first thing first, these are the hazards, alright, that we are seeing. We are seeing that the floor is wet, guys, where the girl were standing. Alright, so this is not good. So the floor was wet, and this can lead to, you know, slips and falls. So what they ensured that the labs is clean and dry at all times. So this is the precaution. This is what what they need to do. So they need to ensure that the labs is always clean and dry at all times. Clean all spills on, you know, bench tops, and we're talking about floor immediately. So you need to I would say clean as you go while you're in the lab. So for example, if you see any water in the labs while you're in the laboratory, or you're whatever doing any, you know, scientific method, you guys need to clean because it's very dangerous. So performing experiments with scatter or broken glass, as you guys could see, we have the measuring glass, it's broken. So that would be a war together with, you know, unattentive experiment. So chemical can also be led, I would say, or leads to, you know, accident. We have seen that properly stored all apparatus. So the apparatus, they should be stored, in ranks or holders, therefore properly dispose of broken, glassware. All right, another one would be, we are seeing that they're distracted by one. The girl was distracted by the cell phone and are not monitoring by any naked flames. Experiment can lead to, injury. Put away all cell phones carefully. Monitor your surrounding, experimenting with while in the lab. All right. So therefore, another one would be, let me see here. So these would be the precaution now. So we're talking about here. So listening a water hose can put out. So we are talking about using a water hose can put out a fire. Alright, we'll say a pot of oil of fire, which is incorrect. So this is because oil and water does not mix. Due to less dense than water. So oil will remain on the water and therefore it would spread, causing the fire to spread as well. Alright? Good. So the another one would be damage or frayed cords and extension leads. So therefore, it's seen that an electrical appliances coming into contact with water can reduce, no, it's not reduce, but it can cause electrical shock. So we're seeing that water in contact with electric is not good. You can be executed. All right, it's not good. Very dangerous. All right, so we need to ensure that the hands are not wet when you're using any electrical, device. Remember, guys, not even your phone, to be honest, your hand shouldn't be wet. But even though your phone is not really electrical in a sense that it will, shock you, but it's not good. If you are supposed to plug in your phone while your hand is wet and you basically touch your charger, you can feel the sensation. So it's not good. All right. And here, I'm just gonna move forward because I think this paper is finished. All right. So here, all right. Let me see here. All right, we had, guys, I think I'm gonna skip out a few of these parts, simple being because, let me see here, atmospheric carbon dioxide, let me reduce carbon. All right, let me just do this one. All right, so here, guys, the first question here, it says we need to suggest 4 lifestyle change that Lee and his family can make to decrease the amount of carbon dioxide that they added to the atmosphere. So the main key, guys, we are focusing on carbon dioxide. So let's just go ahead and read. So we are seeing that the 4, what they could use a public transit. So either they walk or use bike. So that would reduce the amount of carbon dioxide. All right, this one is a main question as well. Also, they can use carpool with friends. Right? We're seeing that the other one, they could sell the SUV and get a smaller vehicle, which burns less fossil fuel. And we all know that fossil fuel contributed to, carbon dioxide. Or these things is not good, to be honest. Fossil fuel is not good. And what they would need to do is also leave home earlier to avoid more time in traffic. All right. So the other question now, let me see what the other question is. It says describe 4 changes that a government can make, to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide and that Lee adds to the environment. So here, for that Lee's had a very carbon dioxide to the environment, but because Lee burning fossil fuel in their car, so we know that the car will burn a lot of fossil fuel, which fossil fuel contribute to carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So what can the government do to reduce that? Or we see that the government would normally give incentive to switch to using hybrid or electric vehicle. So what they would need to do is to sell their cleaner burning gasoline vehicle. So this is what the government should do. The government should give incentives to do these stuffs. So therefore, what the government could also do, the government could improve the public transportation system, right? And the government could also encourage work from home. So instead of a lot of person being going to work every single day, guys, using public transportation, what the government could do is to encourage a lot of person to work from home. So in place these methods in place that a lot of person could work from home, so we'd have less traffic congestions. All right. And another one could be where government could also encourage online shopping and home I would say deliveries to avoiding driving to grocery, etc. So the government could also deal with traffic problems. It's the same, guys. Traffic problems. Here, now we are seeing that photosynthesis. They may ask, let me just go back on the question that they asked. in C here. So here they said we need to, name and describe the process by which, green plants uses carbon dioxide to make food. And we know within the process of photosynthesis, we know that we needed light, water, and carbon dioxide to make food. And we are talking about photosynthesis. Alright? And the other one will be describe 3 ways in which increasing atmosphere carbon dioxide may negatively affect. So we're talking about how carbon dioxide would affect the environment. But here we are talking about photosynthesis is a process by which green plants converted carbon dioxide and water into glucose. And we all know that by using the energy from sunlight would be absorbed by chlorophyll, and we know chlorophyll would normally, I would say convert it into chloroplast. Then therefore we'd have seen that oxygen is being produced by product. Alright, so photosynthesis would normally take place mainly in leaves of plants. So during photosynthesis, guys, we have seen that the green pigment would normally call chlorophyll. So in the leaf, what would normally happen, we'd have seen that the leaf would absorb energy from sunlight and use it to bring the reaction between carbon dioxide and water. Also, we are seeing that the reaction would normally produce glucose, and glucose now, so glucose and oxygen is also known as photochemical reaction because those are combined together. That is the reaction between glucose and oxygen. So you're talking about photochemical reaction. But it's because they normally would say initiates the by absorption of light. So the light energy would convert it into chemical energy. Once chemical energy is being stored within glucose molecules, then photosynthesis can be summarized. Alright, but there's difference, as we can see, as the glucose molecules were normally stored within the glucose molecules. So here, guys, we're just going to give a quick, I would say, equation of the photosynthesis. So we are talking about carbon dioxide. So we know, someone says, exam start at 1, sir, can you do information technology? Good. Alright. I will try my best, Anita. Alright, try my best, alright? Which paper, 1 or 2? Because I'm not sure. You guys have to explain that. So we have carbon dioxide plus water, right? And therefore we have seen that the energy normally coming from the sunlight would absorb by chlorophyll. Now we are seeing that glucose plus oxygen, therefore we can also, otherwise known as the CO2, 6CO2. We are talking about carbon dioxide, H2, 6H2O, right? And energy from sunlight absorbed by chlorophyll, the C6H2O6 plus 6O2. Alright? And this is the equation, guys, of photosynthesis. Alright, we're moving forward. Alright, D. So I think we are finished. Yes, we are finished on this paper. So the last question for this paper, guys, and I'm moving on. So we need to describe 3 ways which increasing the level of atmospheric carbon dioxide may negatively affect Caribbean people. So we are talking about, guys, 3 ways by which increasing the level of carbon dioxide may affect the people in the Caribbean. So we are talking about how can carbon dioxide affect the people, but 3 ways how can it affect them. So first thing first, we are seeing that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will contribute, I would say combine with rainwater, and that is to form weak carbonic acid. So we're talking about carbonic acid, we are talking about acidic rain. So therefore acidic rain, guys, these rains are damage to soil and forest. We know that acidic rain normally affect agriculture, and this is a problem. Alright, this is a problem that people normally, very nowadays in the society, they're very afraid of acidic rain, because we know that acidic rain, guys, can also, I would say corrode the metallic of objectives such as buildings, I would say, and landscapes. Therefore, we know that carbon dioxide is also a greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming. And we know that it can also be predicted that this would normally cause weather to become more, severe. So you're talking about more severe, you're talking about carbon dioxide would cause weather to be more severe. So cause weather to be more bad in the sense. And we also seen that we are talking about the polar ice. So therefore, we're seeing that the polar ice would normally, melt. That leads to rise in the sea level. So once the polar ice has been melted, then it will rise the sea level, causing coastal erosion. So coastal erosion, guys, is when the sea levels been, in a sense that it's been rising. alright, rising above its level. And we know that global warming would also affect the ecological, or we say ecology of the Caribbean and the whole planet negatively. So these are the three ways in which, you know, carbon dioxide is being affected the community, and not just the community but the country in sense, or affect the people and the Caribbean. Alright, so we're just gonna move to that was the end of the 2012 paper, guys. Alright, so let me see here. I have another paper here. Let me see how quick I could go through these paper. Alright, guys. So guys, I need everyone to pay attention now. This is a 2010 paper, guys. Right? Due to physical education. Yes, Ashanti Evans. Yes. Alright. Guys, I will be going through this 2010. I just finished the 2012 paper. We're just going through this 2010. And I need you guys to pay attention real fast. Alright? Good. So here, this is a section A, right? And we're just going to go through these questions real fast. So we can see here, guys, this would be a diagram of a growing plant. And so what we're going to do, we're going to do a comparison between the growing plant versus a growing child. All right, they may, to be honest, they may throw sorry, they may throw this section on your paper too today. All right, or similar. So they may ask you these questions. So first thing first, you can see here, guys, we have a figure 1, and figure 1A, figure 1B. All right, sorry. So here we can see that this would be a child, right? This would be a baby, a young infant baby, and we have the plant here growing. So let's see the difference between these stuff, quick and fast. Good. So therefore we are seeing that here it says we need to state one reason for our transport system in child. So what happened here in the child, guys, we are seeing that transport oxygen and nutrients and remove waste. So we're talking about one reason for a transport system. So what the transport system will do in the child here, we are seeing that the transport system would, you know, transport oxygen and nutrients and then remove waste. But in the plants now, what the transport system would do in the plants, it would transport water up in the xylem. Right? So we're talking about xylem, guys. We're talking about the xylem in the plant. So it would transport water up in the xylem and sugar down the phloem. So there's different phloem and xylem. So is when we are seeing that water has been transferred or transport up in the xylem, and we are seeing that sugar has been transported down the phloem. All right, so that is the difference between the child and the plant here. I hope you guys are paying attention. All right, now we are seeing that we need to name two processes that are responsible for the movement Y and Z. So first thing first, guys, Y and Z on the plant here. Let me just look here. So we are seeing that Y. So one is going up and one is going, let me see. Yes, one is going up. So on the stem, we're seeing that the stem going up. So Y for the leaf. So for the leaf, we're seeing that we have the leaf here. For the Z, we have the root. So what is the difference between the leaf and the root? So we are seeing that the leaf now, which is the Y, we are seeing that the leaf would normally go ahead and do transpiration. So transpiration is when they are transported. Alright, we are talking about osmosis. So here we can see that here the plant would be the osmosis. So it's absorbing all of its nutrients to transport to the rest of the three. So we are talking about like the phloem and the xylem. Alright, so this is the process. So we have osmosis and transpiration. Now we need to here on the diagram, it says use 3 arrows in the case to show how. So we already use those 3 arrows already. So blood circulated through the child body, we already do that. Water move in and out of the plant, we already do that. Alright, good. Now we need to name the organ that pumps blood through the human body. This one is a very severe one and it's very simple. So we're talking about heart. Alright, and we know that heart, guys, we need, you know, your heart is very important. It's very, very, very important. Alright, so in regards when you're mentioning about heart, guys, ensure that you keep your heart healthy. Alright, so remember, don't try to, you know, well, smoking is not good and all of those. Alright, guys, so we guys need to know about the sorry, guys, I think I need to find guys, I'm gonna do something just now. I'm gonna find I would say paper 2023. I think I have a paper 2023 on the integrated science here. Let me try. All right, good. So here, guys, it says we need to draw an arrow to show the direction of the gravity on the body. We do already do that. So we need to state two features of the circulatory system that allow the blood to move from the child legs to heart. So here we know about the cardiac muscle. Remember, guys, I already mentioned, I was going through this before on the first paper about the cardiac muscle. So we know that the cardiac muscle normally pump blood to the body, right? And we know that the valves, we are talking about vas vein. So what the vas vein normally do is normally to prevent the blood flow backwards. So we don't, what the valves do, the valves of the vein, it doesn't want the blood to, you know, go ahead and pump backwards. So it prevents it and ensure that the blood is being returned to the heart. All right, so we don't want any reversity blood back to the heart. All right, that is known as venomous blood. So you're talking about like the deoxygenated blood. All right, any blood is being pumped from the heart to the body. All right, good. All right, therefore, all right, so guys, we are seeing a diagram here showing a dining room, and we're showing one before dinner, after dinner. What is this? Is this a dog? Because this really look like a dog to me, and this look like a cat or a lizard. I think I'm seeing a lizard here or a cat. Guys, what you're seeing here, this look like a lizard or a cat, right? This to be honest look like a cat or a lizard for some reason. All right, anyways, let me see what's going on here. All right, so it says name two household pests that may present in the dining room. If how we are talking about vitality, are we talking about like overnight? So in sense, we are talking about like what happened after dining. So therefore, we know after dining, and if they leave plates and all of those foods around, we know that what we normally see present would be like house flies. We normally see house flies. We normally see rats. We normally would see cockroaches. We normally would see other insects. Well, therefore, these main insects are number one: cockroach, rats, and house flies. Good. All right. So why the reason here? So we know that garbage would include foods waste that left using lying around. So we know that food left uncovered, we're talking about like unclean tables and floors. So unclean tables and floors would lead to, you know, cockroaches, house flies, and rats. Rats love all of those mess. All right, good. So we need to describe one ways in which the pest name in A affected humans. So the pests we were referring to, guys, we're referring to like rats, cockroach, and all of those. But we're just going to go with cockroaches. So we see that pests vectors. Pests are vectors, right, guys? So we're talking about like cockroach, rats, and all of those. Those are vectors. So vectors which carry the pathogen. So we're talking about pathogen. We're talking about disease causing organisms. So we know such as bacteria which caused by disease such as gastroenteritis. All right. So these are like from flies and cockroach. These are not good for our body. All right, not good unless you become sick. Alright, so here we need to, it says, give two method controlling host pets. So removing source of food, proper storage. Alright, let me just go ahead and let's see here. Alright, so let me see. We're talking about removing source of food, proper storage of food. So removing source of food, proper storage of food. It says to give two method for controlling host pets. Using poison, pesticide, insecticides, using traps, rat, clean, dispose of biological. Use the example, okay, rats. So here we are talking about using poisons. So we are talking about how to control. Two methods we can use to control. So first thing we are talking about proper, like we can say proper proper storage. Because if we use proper storage in the sense, this is what we're talking about, proper storage. So because if we use proper storage, guys, right, to store our food, like removing all of the source of food, and therefore would have less, you know, pests around. All right, so if we're using like poison and pesticides, these are like such as rat poisons, using traps and all of those could be also a method that you can use to control pests. All right, sorry. So here, guys, we are seeing that mosquitoes are carried dengue fever in many Caribbean countries. You know that. So we're talking about like Smith's. So we're seeing that it says Smith shows alright, so shows this that Smith's backyard identify one. So this would be Smith's backyard, right? And we are seeing that one object which may encourage the breeding of mosquito. So we're going to see what would cause the mosquito to be bred up. All right, so therefore we've seen that tires. So first thing first, you can see tires here, right? So tires, cans. These are all the cans, and we have seen cans and jars, right? All of these cans and jars. So we know that cans and jars normally hold water, guys, that which may encourage the breeding of mosquito. So we know all of these tires. Inside of the tire here, let me show you what's going on. Inside of right here, guys, let me show you what's in the blue. Inside of these part of the tire hold water. So mosquitoes can breed inside of here. So this would be eradicating. It's not eradicating, it would be eradicating places for breeding up of mosquitoes. All right. So this is a stupid idea that, you know, Smiths would do here, right? All right. So here, guys, we are seeing that we need to go ahead. It says getting rid of mosquito by removing objects, right, and collect water. For example, tires can spray open objectives using method of controlling breeding mosquito. So what they are talking about here, we need to suggest one way in which Smith may assist and reduce the incidence of fever. So what he could do here, guys, is just for this is to eliminate. So you could eliminate. So you could say eliminate all objects that is non-usable. So things which are not, you know, usable. What you should do, eliminate them. So such as the cans and tires and all of those. You could write it here. That's simple. All right, so we need to name 2 diseases spread by mosquito. We all know that 2 diseases spread by mosquito would be malaria and yellow fever. All right, and we all know that. All right, guys, does everyone understand? Let me know in the comment section. All right, let me know, guys. All right, everyone understand? Let me know in the comment section, please. Guys, and please remember, guys, to everyone to drop a like and share. Right? Share the stream, guys. If you haven't liked the video, please feel free to do so. Please. All right. All right. Moving forward, because we have a lot to go through. So here it says water. So water from rainfall is collected from the rooftop in container, right? Sorry, we all know that. So when rain falls, we collect water off the rooftop in container. That's been catch into containers. So you need to name 2 impurities that have, you know, I would say may be present in the water. So for example, if water is supposed to catch on the, you know, zinc, we know in Caribbean zinc. So if it's for example zinc top of your house and water is supposed to catch on the zinc, you know, running off the zinc through I would say whatever tunnel, therefore catching into, you know, a container. We have seen that normally what we normally see is like animal dropping, such as feces, and we normally would see dust. So because dust is normally on, you know, rooftops, we normally seen that if a tree were hanging over your house, then therefore we'd have normally seen leaves in the water or dead insects, dead insects, perhaps such as you would see normally, like I would say bugs, all of those stuff, lizard and all of those stuff, right? All of those. But here we're just gonna move along, guys. That is a simple question. All right, so we need to suggest 2 ways which, you know, Mr. Smith can, you know, I would say, oh, Mrs. Smith, sorry, not Mr. or Mrs. Smith, oh, sorry. So there are 2 ways in which Mrs. Smith can, you know, make the water collected in the container safe for drinking. All right, guys, so I need everyone to pay attention. Today on your exams, they CXC is going to ask you this question, mainly question. So they may ask you, you need to state 2 ways which you can make water purable or purified for drinking. So we can use chlorine, right? We can use chlorine, or either can boil the water. So boiling the water, we can say filtering, all right, or straining the water, then boil. We're talking about distillation. So we are adding like purifying, such as bleach and all of those, chlorine. But we need to know about the method. So if they say that you need to, you know, state 2 methods that water can be purified, I need you guys to know this. are two methods that water can be safe to drink. You guys can say filtering and distillation. All right, I hope you guys get this. This would be a must. Trust me, this has to be on one of your questions today in paper 2. They're gonna ask about water. All right. Sorry. So here, guys, number 3, it says Sophia hopes to become members of the national swimming team. Her coach encouraged her to do weightlifting. So you're talking about aerobic and running. So we are talking about what is the effect of lifting on the muscle of the body. So we are talking about lifting. So when here we are talking about Sophia would lift the weight, we are seeing that it would be increased in the muscle or strength. Sorry. So this would be the effect. The effect would be increasing. So we'd have seen there would be more weight in the muscle mass. Alright. So we're seeing the increase in muscle mass or strength. Alright, good. The other one says, so just one benefits of the aerobic and running that cannot be gained. So we know that, guys, we have two aerobic. We have aerobic and we have anaerobic. Alright, so there's one. So we need to know the difference between aerobic and anaerobic. I think you guys do that. If you guys do physical education, you guys should know these terms, aerobic and anaerobic. Alright, so we says here one benefits would be of the aerobic would be increase in fitness. So for overall the body would be functioning very well and effectively. So we see that this would be of the circulation or breathing. Alright, moving forward. So the other one says coach recommended that Sophia eats more lean meat, peas, rice, and sweet potatoes. So it says what are the two food groups in her new diet. So we're talking about, so for the meat, peas, rice, and sweet potatoes. So from the meat, we are seeing that will be food from animal. Staples, we are seeing staples included. We have like peas, all of those. Legumes, we are seeing that we are mentioning about, like, because we were mentioning about peas, sweet potato, carbohydrate, and protein. Alright, so all of these would be the groups that will be included in our diet. Now we need to state one function of each of the food groups name. So for protein, we know that protein is needed for muscle building, right? And for carbohydrate, we need it for energy. But so to be honest, guys, your body doesn't need too much carbs. Alright, trust me. Your body doesn't need too much carbs. So do not try to take in too much carbs if you don't want to get fat. Alright, too much fats. Because if you take in too much fat, you can burn off that fat into muscles. But too much carbs is not good. But what carbs is in a sense, but too much carbs is not good. Alright, so we need to give one reason for each of the following. So Sophia breathes faster when she's running. So why is the reason why Sophia is breathing faster when she's running? Because when she's running, we are seeing that more oxygen would needed to increase the energy demand. Alright, and another one, we are seeing that Sophia's heart beat faster when she exercises. Why, however, it's not just Sophia, but if you were supposed to exercise, guys, we normally see that our heart would beat faster, and it's because there would be a need for more oxygen. So guys, if you're, for example, if you're if you're doing exercise and you're breathing faster than you normally breathe, then therefore what is happening, your body doesn't have enough oxygen that would needed to increase the energy demand. Therefore what you're talking about, guys, you're still talking about like this thing we're mentioning about anemic. So if you're supposed to anemic, you're talking about low iron in your body, then therefore low iron in your body is not allowing your body to transport enough oxygen that would be needed in your body to have the oxygenated blood being flowing all over your body. Because remember, guys, we're talking about oxygenated blood, and the oxygenated blood is the blood that needed for your body. So ensure that you have a rich oxygenated blood. That would be good in regards to increase the energy demand. So therefore we are talking about there would be need for more oxygen and nutrients that increase the energy demand. All right, moving forward. So here the other one says Sophia's father's Mr. Parrot, right, decide to support her by joining in her exercise. So you need to name one physical factor other than fitness which he may consider. So you need to give one reason for your answer. So you're talking about age, sex, gender. So we're talking about age, we're talking about how old is the person, over 60 or whatever, or below 60. We're talking about age. That would be a difference. We're talking about sex, guys. We're talking about their gender references. Either the person would be a male or female. All right. So we're talking about their diet that would affect the person's health and ability to exercise, because theirs different. Remember, guys, your diet is based on your exercise pattern. All right. So if you're not taking enough protein and all of those, then not every exercise you should participate in. So we are seeing that after 1 month, the amount of fat around Mr. Pierre waist decreased. So we need to explain how this fat was being used by his body. So we are talking about increased activity. We are seeing that it would normally increase the energy. So we'd have seen that energy would have been increased in Mr. Let me see his name, Mr. Pierre, that would needed, for fat. When the fat was converted now to carbohydrate, that is what I was talking about. And then it was being used in the provision of energy. So while the fat was converted to carbohydrate, he used the carbohydrate for energy. So for example, guys, if you intake too much fat in your body, the fat can be converted into carbohydrate. And once you worked out, such as doing track and field or push-up, it doesn't matter. All right. Then that carbohydrate will be used as energy. So that is why I'm saying, guys, not too much carbohydrate is good, but well, it's good in a sense, but not too much. All right. We'll be skipping that part, guys. So here we are at section B. So far we need to state 4 members group. So we have seen Jenny, Sweeling, Sammy, and Fred stage rehearsing. So this is a rehearsing concert. So we have Fred here, we have Jenny here, we have Sweeling, and we have Sammy. So let's see what's going on here. Alright, so it says we need to identify the group members with the most suitable equilibrium and state 2 reasons for your answer. So for group member, we are talking about Squealing. So Squealing, guys, when we are talking about stable equilibrium, what you're talking about equilibrium now, guys, we're talking about when, for example, you're not moving. So if you're supposed to have an object that is not moving, is lying, I would say, or will position in one position. So we are seeing that Squealing is not moving at all. She's laying in one position. So we're talking about, so Squealing here would be the stable equilibrium. All right, so you need to state the reason for your answer. So lying flat when compared to the other person upright and sitting, so she had the lowest center of gravity. All right, so you can see that she had the lowest center of gravity. So that was the whole reason of the stable equilibrium. So they may ask you these name, guys. So you need to know what is the equilibrium. All right, equilibrium. You need to know what is a stable equilibrium. Good. All right, good. So here, moving on to the other question. So we need to complete the similar sense of organ coordinate. So for light, we are seeing that for light would be falling stimulus. Guys, need you guys to pay attention. Please pay attention. All right, guys, can we get 40 likes on the stream, guys? We need at least 2 more likes. All right, we're moving forward and we going good so far. All right, so here we're talking about stimulus. So stimulus would reflect into light. All right, we are now about sense of organ now. Sense of organ would be here, high, and all of those. So we see sense of organ would be here, here, high, and here. Same. But here now we are talking about stimulus. So stimulus would be sound movements and all of those. All right, so we need to fill in the blank. So we normally fill in the blank for light. We know light would fall into stimulus. So we are seeing that light high here. We are seeing other objects that I would say avoid collisions. We're seeing that sound would normally be the contradicting to hear. So we use our ear to hear sound, and normally what the hear we normally do is to detect sound and enabling movements to a beat or rhythm. But I want to know about movements now. It's for balancing and avoiding falling. So you can also, where this is says here for balancing and avoid falling. Here would be the organ, the sense of organ, guys. All right, good. Hola. All right, good. So moving along, guys. So this is that energy occurs in different forms, is used in different way. So to carry out their activities, each group, normally would require energies. So we are seeing that, we need to explain how energy has been obtained and been used in producing their movements. So how energy has been obtained and been used to produce their movements. So we know that energy normally would be obtained by eating food, guys, containing fats and carbohydrate, right? That is where the energy would, cast in. Because remember, guys, fats has been converted into what? Carbohydrate. And carbohydrate is used for energy, right? Good. So when carbohydrate has been digested now, guys, this is where the glucose is normally being used as a process of respiration. So respiration would use, to provide the energy for movement. Alright? So here, guys, just gonna move. So this would be a structure of an eye. Right? So we need to know what is this, because we need to know how to label the eye as well, because they may throw in anyone. So here we know that we have the optical nerve, right? And all of this. We need to know about the eye, guys, how to label the eye, alright? Alright, so we see that Jenny's grandmother's hold a newspaper at arm's length when reading it. What is most likely to cause the condition? So we are talking about arm length. That's simple meaning she's far-sighted, because she's holding it out, not close. So we're talking about farsight. We're talking about I would say hypermetropia, right? Metropia. So we're talking about hypermetropia. So we're talking about hypermetropia. We are talking about farsighted. A person who is farsighted. All right. So we need to state two ways of correcting his defect. So here, how can we correct it? I would say Jenny's grandmother's sight in a sense. So therefore, what could happen here, that she could wear glasses that's been prescribed by a doctor, that's been fitted with, I would say, contact lens, or with medicines based on her prescription of her height, not of her height per example, right? So if her height was in a sense that she had been farsighted, and we know that a farsighted person, we're talking about the hypermetropia. Alright, so we're talking about a person which is farsighted, and what she could do is, so we're prescribing glass that has been fitted, alright. Alright, so we're just gonna move along, guys. Moving along. Alright, good. So here we need this is a electricity meter of a household on June 30, 2008. Alright, so this is a diagram of the analog electricity meter. Right, so it says, what is the function of the electricity meter? So what does the electricity meter do? We know that it measures the quantity. So you're talking about the amount. Alright, Abigail, welcome. Alright, so here we are seeing that it measures the quantity of electricity energy being used. So we know that this is the meter. We know what the meter normally does to generate and to measure the quantity of electricity energy is being used. Alright, therefore, if we're gonna read the meter here, guys, we are seeing what is the reading on the meter in figure 7. I know figure 7 here. So we'd have seen 2. So 2 here. Alright, and we have 3. Right? And now we have 2 here. I know we have 0. I know we have 9. So it's 2, 3, 0, 9. So therefore we would see it to be like 23,209 kilowatt. Yeah. Alright, good. Moving forward, guys. Alright, so here it says the reading of the meter on June 1, 2008 was 22,943 kilowatt. Right? This says calculate the amount of electricity being used month of June. Alright, so if we were supposed to go ahead and read the meter here, we can see that the meter reading from June 30 would be 23,209, right? And we're seeing that the meter reading on the 1st of June would be 22,943. And now for electricity use. So how are we going to calculate this, guys? We're talking about kilowatt. So this is kilowatt, I would say hours. Kilowatt hours. Alright, so we're seeing that for the hours here, we're seeing that 23,209. So here what you're going to do, these terms, let me see if we're going to go ahead and let me just go ahead and do some calculations here. Just a moment, guys. So between the meter, we need to calculate the amount that been used. So I think we're going to take away. All right, we're going to take away. Let me see something, because it's not divided. It's not divided. Let me see. So we have 22,209. This is all right. All right, look, just a moment. I'm just looking at this. This is no. This would not be taken away. Let me see. All right. Oh yes, it's take away, because we're going to go do this. That's that 3, 6, that 3, that so that is 226. That's 6. All right, so this would be 226 kilowatt hours. All right, so when you go ahead, guys, and get this number, what we would do is to take away the other number. So here for we take away the 1st of June. So the 1st of June was 22,943. So we're just going to take away the 1st of June from the using meter. So this was the reading, the first reading that we get. We're going to take away it from the other rate. So therefore we get 22,266 kilowatt hours. Just a moment, guys. Let me plug in my charger, right? Because my battery is dying. Just a moment. All right. So this is a pretty simple between the reading of the meter. All right, it's not hard. Good. All right, so we're moving forward now, guys. Are pretty simple. All right, so here now it says the power company determines that the cost of the electricity is 70 cents every kilowatt of energy use. So we need to calculate the cost of electricity for the month of June. So therefore the month of June, guys, as we just go ahead and did the calculation just now, we just take away the 1st of June reading from the other reading, which should be June of the what that been used. All right, so the electricity that's been used for June will be 266 kilowatt hours, right? So now we are seeing that the cost of 1 kilowatt, I would say kilowatt hours of electricity we use will be 70 cents. So therefore, he says when you're gonna do POB paper 1, I will do POB paper 1 later this evening. So I need everyone to stay tuned. So after everyone finish their, I would say integrated science paper 2 today, then I will do the paper 1 after. All right, good. All right, so here we are seeing that the 70 cents now would be 1 kilowatt hours. So now we're gonna do the calculation. So 266 times 7, we say 0.7. So we're gonna use the point. So 0.7. So 266, guys, times 0.7. Then for it gives us 186.2. So we're just gonna put the 0 on it and call that 20 cents. So it's 186.20 cents. So that would be I would say the electricity for the month of June. So that would be the cost. So we calculate the cost. So this would be the cost, right? Because it's 70 cents, right? Good. Moving on, guys. All right. So here we are seeing that this would be a wattage of the household items. Good. And now we are seeing that the toaster. So what you're gonna do now? We are talking about the wattage, and we're talking about the time per hour. I would say per day hours being used, are the consumptions of the kilowatt hours per day. So here we're just going to do a quick calculation. So here we need to complete the table of the missing value. So therefore I would say this should be wattage. So for toasters, we're just going to times these. All right, so if we're seeing that the 800, so we cannot times the 800 times 2. We can though, but this is how we're gonna do it to get the correct minimal, or say the correct calculations. So we're gonna say 0.8, right? So 0.8 times 2 therefore will give us 1.6. Is that so, right? Yes. And now, so for these cents, we're gonna use our 1 decimal place in cents to put away to get these. So it's 800, get that 0.8. For 900, get 0.9. For 75, we can say 0 right here, and we put a point. So 0.75. For 100, you know that is 0.1 if you know to do decimal. Now we are saying for 25, therefore we can say 0.25. Then for 13,300, we can say 1.3. All right, so here we're doing all of these calculations. Now we'd have seen we'd have normally get 0.9 times 24 will give us 21.6. Now the other calculation here, we have says 1.3. Now how we're gonna calculate to get 3.9 is how we're gonna calculate. So we're gonna base on the rates. So therefore we can say 1.3 times 3 will give us 3.9, and this is how we get to calculate the table. All right, good. Now, first thing first, guys, we need to remember that to convert kilowatts to convert watts to kilowatts, what we need to do, we need to know that the time must be in hours, and therefore what we need to do is to multiply the kilowatts by the hours to get the kilowatt hours. All right, so now we know that kilowatt hours, which is be the unit for electrical energy. All right, so this is how we do the calculation. So this would be the whole steps to do the calculation. So you need to remember that kilowatts, watts to kilowatts. Now we need to know that the time must be in hours, right? And all of these. All right, now let's move along to the other question. So which of the following is most effective using fan? 12 hours instead of 6 hours. Are using toasters even 2 hours? So we need to explain our answer. So we know that a fan for 6 hours we use 0.6 kilowatt hours. But for 12 hours now, it will use 1.2 kilo hours of the electrical energy. Now we know that, however, the toaster now for 2 hours will use 1.6, because we know that the toaster would burn more electrical energy. All right, so therefore we can see that the cost would be effective to use a fan instead, which reduce the electricity bill, because you know that the toaster would burn more electrical energy than the fan. All right, so now we're gonna distinguish the guys. We need to know these terms, please. This one is a must, that it will come on your exams today. So we need to know the difference between switch and fuse, and you guys need to know how to label a switch and a fuse. All right, it's very pretty precise. All right, now we're just gonna move along. All right, just a moment. All right, so good. So what is the difference between a switch and a fuse? So we just need to know how to do these stuff, guys, so you guys could understand what's going on, right? All right, good. So this is what happened now, guys. Listen, we need to pay keenly attention what happened. All right, good. So listen. So between a fuse, we know that the fuse would be a protective device, right? And what does the fuse do? The fuse normally protect, against the voltage. So you're talking about like the current, the overload of the current. All right. This is not just this design of the switch, but this which been used to simplify or turn off an appliance. So that will be the difference between a switch and the fuse. So what does the fuse do? We need to understand that the fuse is a protective device. Therefore, we know that which the switch would do. The switch would just normally simplify to turn off and off the appliance. But the most important, I would say the most important here would be the fuse, because the fuse is what controlled, the whole overload of the current, the voltage. All right, good. We're almost through. So it says some homes in the Caribbean, are being powered by solar energy. So we need to state the energy changes that take place in these homes. So when you're talking about electric toasters and oven is being used, we are seeing that light energy would normally go ahead to being converted to electrical energy. Now we have the heat energy. After now we have the heat energy will normally be generated by the toaster. So that would be the toaster oven is where you have the heat. All right, so this is where the heat comes from, the heat energy from the toaster oven. Now we are talking about the light. So therefore we're talking about like solar for the solar panel and all of those we're seeing that electrical energy being converted. So all of these what we're talking about. Now we need to explain the concept between conservation and linear momentum. Guys, I think you guys need to know these terms. Alright, so momentum, guys, it refers to the fact that when two objects has been collide, right? So we are seeing that this would be the total momentum before the collisions is being equal to the total momentum after the collision. So this would be the concept. So, but for a linear momentum, now we know that the concept of the conversation of a linear momentum refers to the fact which is collide. So we need to know about these. All right. So let me just explain the difference. So for a linear momentum, now we are talking about it's when two objects has been collide. And now for the concept of conversation of, I would say, linear momentum, there's different. So we are seeing that the linear momentum now would be before the collision is equal to the total momentum of the collision. All right. We have, let me see here, and this one is a little bit pretty simple. All right, go guys, good. So here we are seeing that we have like a diagram showing collision of the trolley and a truck. So we need to state two possible results for the collision. So we're seeing that the truck moved backward, right guys? So this is a truck. So the truck moved backward. Our direction of the trolley, because we are seeing, look at this, are the direction of the trolley, right? So both truck and trolley would move together in the same direction of the trolley. So let me see. To be honest, this seems as if the trolley is moving backward, to be honest, not forward, but they are moving in the same direction. Now we need to calculate the momentum of the truck if it was moving at the speed of 4 meters per, I would say, second. So 4 meters slash s would mean 4 meters slash second. All right, so therefore what we are seeing here, so what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing that the momentum would be equal to mass times the velocity. So the velocity is where we are talking about where the truck is being moving. All right, so we are talking about the 10 kilogram. So we can say 10 kilogram times the 4, I would say 4 meter per second that the truck it's being trolley, or be 4 meter per second that trolley is being towards the trolley. So here we can see 10 times 4. Here, this is how we get the 40. So that will be 40 kilograms meter, right, per, I would say, second. Good. Now we need to state two possible reasons, not really the reason, but three possible results of the collision between trucks moving at speed in B and 2. So we can see that the trucks and trolley would come, or I say, we'll say, move in the same stop, right? And upon the collision, they, I would say, they're most likely to move away from each other because they didn't meet together. All right, but they were in the same direction. As each stop, the other one is move away from the other one. Now we need to define the term energy, guys. What does that energy mean? So our energy would be the capacity or ability to do work, right? What does unit mean? I need you guys to know these because these may fall on your exams today, please. So joule, the unit of energy is joule. Does everyone understand this? The unit of energy is joule. All right, and what is the symbol for the unit of energy? So for the unit of energy, guys, would be the same thing as joule, and the symbol for joule is J. It's like it's like a I. It's like a I. It's like this, joule. All right, it's like I, like this. I hope everyone is paying attention. Alright, now we need to state the form of energy present in ion 2, 3, and the trolley collides with the stationary truck. Alright, so we are seeing that before, we would have seen that there would be a kinetic energy. So we are seeing about the kinetic and kinetic energy. We are still talking about like the trolley and the potential energy that's been in the truck. Now we are talking about before and during and then after. So during the truck, between the, I would say, the trolley colliding between the truck, right? Therefore, we'd have seen there would be a potential sound or heat between those two, right? And we are now after what we are seeing would be a kinetic. So the kinetic would be where we are talking about heat. So there would be heat after. Alright, so we're talking about before and after. Now they're asking that the truck would say possessed, we're talking about the gravitational potential energy. So we need to explain this energy comes from. So where does the gravitational potential energy come from? Now we have seen that the gravitational potential energy would be from the truck. Depends on the position of the object. Alright. And I think we are finished here because the paper says the end. So this is the end of the 2010 paper. But let me just show you a few of these. This would be for a 2011 paper, I think, if I'm not sure. But let me just give you a quick answers on this. So first thing first, guys, this is another paper, but I'm not sure. I think this should be this is about carbon dioxide emissions though. Alright, so here when it says you need to light energy is being converted to another type of energy when green plant make food. Now we are talking about what kind of energy has been stored in this food. So we know what there will be chemical energy. So chemical energy will be stored in this food. Alright guys, moving along. So it says what substance has been combined with carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. So we are talking about hydrogen in water. In water has been combined with carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. Alright, good. Now we're moving along. So it says we need to describe how plants and animals may become let's see, fossil fuel. Alright, so we are talking about plants. So we are seeing that plants and animals become fossil fuel by we're talking about fossification. So fossification, guys, would be the dead plants and animals that become buried under, I would say, wood or peat or soil. Alright, therefore we are seeing that over long periods, right? We have seen that there will be extreme temperature and pressure built up and changes these plants and animals in fossil fuel. So we need to know this. Alright, and we need to know the different types of energy, guys. So here we are seeing that country X is flat. Tropical island, the electricity generating company in X uses petroleum based on fuel. So we need to name two types of alternative source of energy that can be used for electricity to generate in this country. So we know about solar energy. This one is a very popular one. And then we know about wind energy. Alright, so we need to know about these. Alright, so it says for examples, well, not really for example, for each alternative source, here we need to give one disadvantage. That may cause electricity generating company that resists using the alternative source of energy that identify. So we are talking about solar energy, guys. We know that solar energy system may be, you know, too expensive, and the reason being because it's set up because it's out to set up and to maintain. Because it's not easy to set up a solar energy and to maintain it. So that therefore it will be too expensive. Also about the wind now. The wind may not be consistent in the sense of blowing to ensure to consist the supply of electricity. Alright. So here we have a disadvantage. Alright. So one is too expensive. One is not really too consistent. Because the wind not may blow in the sense that to ensure that we have supply of electricity. Alright. Does everyone following, guys? Does exam start already? I think exam should start now because I'm going to end the stream, guys. Let me know. Does exam start? Should I continue or should I end here? Because I think, guys, and can I get 40 likes on the stream, guys? Can everyone drop a like? Can we get at least 2 more likes, guys, on the stream? Let's go. Should I end here or should I continue? Alright. Any comments? Should I end here or should I continue? Soon start, sir. Alright, so I think I will end here for now, guys. Alright? I think I will end here for now. Continue. Alright. this is the same paper, guys. So let me just skip. So let's just continue. All right, just a moment. All right. All right. So it says what are two effective increasing. All right, guys. So we need to know about air pollution. So air pollution, guys. All right. Here I'm gonna start from here because the paper is a little bit, you know. So it says, what are two possible effects of increased levels of air pollution on the health of the Caribbean people? All right, I can go up to 12:30. All right, no problem, Pablo, no problem. All right, so here we are seeing that two possible effects of, I would say, the increase of air pollution on the health of the Caribbean people would be, where we are seeing that we are talking about the polluted here. So pollutant in the air, such as we are talking about smoke, can lead to the inflammation in the eye. So this would be one positive effect. Now the other effect now, when we are talking about pollution. So how pollution will lead? We are seeing that here it would be inhaling the polluted air. So inhaling the polluted air is not good, and then therefore that would be a damage to our respiratory system. Now we are talking about the inflammation of the eye, so that will damage. We are talking about the smoke would damage our eye. So that would be two possible effect of increased levels of air pollution. All right, now guys, this table is not really, you know, really necessary at the moment. Just let me find the most necessary part. I already go through this part already. This is the same. All right, just a moment. Name two effect that increased. All right, so this was the same thing that I just asked it just now. We need to name two possible effect that increase the air pollution and health. So you know that about respiratory. Remember we mentioned about respiratory illnesses that will inhale in your nose. Then therefore it's seen that it will be increased disease such as cancer problem based on the smokes to the Caribbean people. So this is the same. Just let me skip down just a moment. I think I'm getting the paper over and over. These questions is a little similar over and over. All right, so here this one says, what substance has been combined with carbon dioxide during photosynthesis? So the substance that's been combined with carbon dioxide during photosynthesis would be water. All right, good. All right, so let me just move on a little bit, just a moment. All right, guys, there's not really much here to do. All right, because this paper is a little bit repeated on my hand. This paper here that I'm viewing on right now, it's a little bit, you know, repeated. So all right, just a moment on the environments of this active environments. All right, so you say one pollutant name. All right, guys, so just gonna go through this one. So we need to name two other pollutants which are being added to atmosphere because of the increase of the number of vehicles. So we know that two other pollutants are sulfur dioxide and smoke. All right, so we can say state one negative effect of one pollutant name. So we can say one negative effect would be the sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is that it may dissolve in water, right? And then what does it do? It would normally form acidic rain. And once it forms acidic rain, this would have been a hazard to the environment. All right, good. Let me see if there's any more. All right, not really. All right, guys, so I think I'm gonna end here. All right, so you guys all right, let me just go ahead and show you something, guys. So the first thing I need you guys to see if you could get these topics go through. So you need to go through you need to know about the types of wires. So you need to know the types of wires, right? Let me just write it here. So you need to know about wire, guys, the different type of wire, like earth wire and all of those. So you need to do a little research on wires. All right, you need to do about water conservation. Sorry, conservation. So you need to know about water conservation method, or it's a method of water conservation. I'm a little bit getting a little bit tired now, guys. Just right. Water. So you're talking about water. So these would be some topics that will be on the paper today. You know, so they're gonna mention about like water, you know, conservation of water, and they will mention about erosion. So erosion. You need to know about the ecosystem, right? Ecosystem. Ecosystem, guys. You need to know about the ecosystem. You need to know about pollution. Let me see the comment section. Sir, can you show how to write the chemical what? Chemical equation of. You're talking about equation. Just a moment. Pollution. So they're gonna mention about pollution. And we need to know about deforestation. Deforestation, guys, you need to know about this. Deforestation. This is a little bit hard to write with this on my keyboard. You need to know about momentum. And you need to know about yes, POB wasn't so bad, to be honest. You know what, I think there's a lot of person complaining about POB was hard. Trust me, it's not hard. It's not hard. It's very, yeah, trust me, it's not hard. But it was very, you know, easy on a hand. Right. All right, good. So these are the topics, guys, that you need to study about, and there will be one more topic. Just let me try remember the topic. You need to know about. Let me see here. What is I'm trying to remember. Yeah, global warming. Yes, global warming, guys. I hope you guys know about this. Global warming. You need to know about photosynthesis as well, and about plants, but mainly photosynthesis. So you need to know about photosynthesis. Why this thing is so hard to type? So you need to know about photosynthesis. SYNTHESIS. So you need to know about these topics, guys, alright? And there's more, but trust me, just need to focus on these mainly. Alright? And you need to know about this. You need to know about load versus effort. Alright? This is a must. Load versus effort. You guys could just do a quick research on Google. Alright? Load versus effort. Alright? So guys, I want to say thank everyone for participating and everyone for watching. I wish everyone good luck on their exams. And guys, to be honest, I know that everything that I normally taught, I would say in a level where we normally see that, I always analyze what will be on your exams in a sense. So please focus on these topics. So load versus effort, guys, wires. So you're talking about the different types of wire, like ground wires, red between the blue, the earth wire, and all of those. We need to know about conservation of water. We need to know about erosion, soil erosion. We need to know about the ecosystem. We need to know about pollution, right? We need to know about deforestation. We need to know about momentum. We need to know about global warming. We need to know about photosynthesis. And the other one would be equilibrium, right? Sorry, I hate to write with this thing. Equilibrium, guys. BRU equilibrium. So it's stable. So you guys need to know about stable equilibrium, right? And have luck, guys. Trust me, have faith, alright? Just believe, guys. Everyone will be good, alright? Stop worrying. It's easy, and use your common sense as well. Trust me, you will be good, alright? And I hope everyone have a good day and keep safe, alright? And we will see in the next video, guys. So later I will be live on the paper 1 POB. Alright, so later I will be going through the POB paper 1, guys. So I'm a little bit tired now, so I'm just gonna take a little rest for now and see you all and keep safe. Thank you for watching. Alright, any questions before I go? Any questions? So these are the topics, guys, you need to go ahead and let me know how's the exams, alright, after. Alright. Alright, guys, so see you. Bye, alright.